you got to be committed to trial and error and be big on that error part. From doing that, I could share, like, hey, this is my experience of this. Just had to figure it out. How do we use the internet? Got to figure it out. Everything had to be, you got to be committed to trial and error and be big on that error part. So from doing that, I could share, like, hey, this is my experience of this. And you can't put your whole paycheck in the Bitcoin. Why not? Well, you still got bills to pay for.
Yeah.
And the world is not on a Bitcoin standard. Well, could I do this with my businesses? Well, I want to accept Bitcoin for my business. Like, what if people buy it? Like I said, you'll probably get like, probably 2% of your customers that ever pay you in Bitcoin. And if that kills your profit margins, then probably shouldn't do it. But I mean, not a lot of people are even going to buy Bitcoin. I mean, look at Bitcoiners. We all live under this, I'm not spending my Bitcoin model. So like, you're not going to be able to, sell too many things in Bitcoin. So, I mean, from the small amount of people that do buy, you could just consider it what it is. But I lived it out. I live it out. And that was the best way that I could see to give that knowledge of education. Because a lot of people, what I've noticed from all of these years, because I would hear online, on the news or online sometimes, we got to protect investors. We have to protect our investors. And in my mind, I'm thinking, like, why do we have to protect investors? Like, they're investors. But no,
Yes.
People invest in things all the time just because, and it does not matter their amount of money.
Yeah.
But like, just because you have a lot of money does not mean you're not going to just do something crazy with it. So I just always, like you said, I always wanted to give people like those little rail guards, like, hey, can I do that? There will be consequences. You might want to study those consequences first. And if you choose to do it, hey, you did it. But if not, there are better ways to go about doing this thing now. It can't be all in as you want to be unless, you have that scenario set up from top to bottom.
Yeah. That's why people like yourself are so important in the space because they're life coaches, really, and walking you through what you've experienced. And just to identify with you, I actually had a similar story myself. I found out about Bitcoin in early 2021, and I
Mhm.
just can't not talk about what I'm passionate about. And it was right
Right.
during a transition time where I was moving back to Texas and looking for a new job. And so I've also made all the mistakes. I've lost a little
Yeah.
here and there, and but it does I'm personally very grateful that I got in when it was running up, and I've experienced every step of the way that it can retrace 80%. I have
Mhm.
put a little too much in, and it was a little too hard to pay rent the next month. And so I'm really grateful for my experiences because now I will never talk about what I think the price will do. And I will, and I'm very, very clear that, do not invest in this, to get rich overnight because you can lose everything. However, you need to understand this because it comes to a point where you have a right to know, and it can be more dangerous to own none than it
Mhm.
can. Anyway, there's risk on all sides, and the importance of having someone to walk you through that. That you're such a gift to the community in that, Justin. And I want to kind of also ask you about where you want to go with this because you do have such a unique experience having made a mistake early in life and had a hard lesson of the time in prison and determining that you're never going back there, and so looking for ways to give back and to help people not make the same mistakes that you've made, whether that be in the Bitcoin space or in other ways in life. And that is so valuable.
Hey, it's Amy. Click over here to subscribe, click over here for more content, and we'll see you next time.